For our next session, I would like to invite Mr. Sanjay Ajanikar. Now, he is the Program Director for Asian Nature Conservation Foundation. He comes from a marketing and management background and has a decade of experience in corporate world, and he has re-equipped his goal to manage the wildlife conservation. And he uses his skills in the area of skill sets and experiments and trainings for this new pursuit of his. His colleague, Mr. Amlan Aditya Goswami, will also be joining him, and the topic that they are talking today is tech and culture in elephant conservation. So please welcome our next speakers, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, Sinhasi, for organizing this wonderful conference. And I would say the way Mimi quotes that she gets this inspiration, motivation from, as we all know, late Mr. M.K. Parthasarthi. And taking it forward, we represent Asian Nature Conservation Foundation. It is a 25-year plus organization. We largely work for elephant research, and we are advisory to the State Forest Department, Government of India. So in that process, we join hands with multiple collaborators. So one of such collaborators is Dakshin Foundation that we are talking about today's project, Center for Ecological Sciences, Indian Institute of Science, and Cincinnati Zoo who is funding this program. So we are talking about tech and culture in elephant conservation. I'm Sanjay Ajanikar.
And I'm Amlan Aditya Goswami.
So after hearing, Dr. Nishant, and he talked about the elephants from Karnataka, so let me take you to Assam. So when we say Assam, we often talk about Kaziranga National Park, and we talk about one-horned rhino, but we are not talking about it. We are talking about an adjacent landscape called Golaghat district, which is widely unknown for its conservation issues. Issues such as elephant deaths. So in the last 5 years, Golaghat has seen 18 elephant deaths, majorly due to electrocution. There are 25 deaths of human because of the interface between elephant and human. And there are a number of injuries which are not often get reported. And there is almost 400 acres of crop field has been destroyed or damaged in last 5 years. So when we talk about crop damage, there are, and currently there is almost, in this harvesting season, we see that a lot of farmers have abandoned their crop fields. So Amlan, you would like to talk about that?
So if we see the statistics, so in the last 5 years, 400 acres have been lost, they are saying, but the statistics is a large understatement. Now, that is mainly because, many of the reports are, many of the incidents are not reported because of inadequate compensation systems, and there are many other factors. Now, we have seen the conflict. Now, what is the cause of the conflict? We are going to look at some landscape level challenges. Now again, we are at Golaghat. Let's deep dive into Golaghat. Now this is one very small area of Golaghat, and this actually showcases, it's a bird eye view of a very small area, and it showcases what are the different landscape types that are there in Golaghat. So the green areas are all tea estates, forest fragments, the whites are houses, and the brown area is all agricultural areas. And this pattern is repeated throughout the district. Now, these are the land use land cover types. And in Golaghat, there is one very interesting land cover type of an abandoned tea estate. Now, Golaghat, the most of the area in Golaghat is covered by agricultural areas and tea estates. And there are forests. Now, forests, the area of forests is more, but most of the forests are in the form of small forest fragments that are often intertwined with the human settlements. All the green spaces that you see in between those white spots are all forest fragments. Now imagine an elephant has to navigate through this. So very frequently they come across or come to very close proximity to humans, and often conflict-like situation arises. Now in paddy harvesting season during winters, the conflict goes to another level. So there are around 4 to 5 herds that combine into 60 to 70 elephant clans and come to raid crops at night. So this is one such situation This is one instance when the elephants are entering the crop fields at night. And people are trying to stop the elephants. Now, as we see, there are numerous forest fragments, tea estates, human settlements, and the entry and exit points towards agricultural areas are numerous. It's difficult to keep track, and that's where the elephants have an upper hand, where the people don't know where the elephants will come from. And that's the challenge that people face. Now, imagine if we had the power to predict where an elephant would be and the power to know, where the elephants are. So there we introduced in the landscape the GPS collar, which has GSM connectivity. So the GPS collar that we use right now has been developed by Anemone Foundation after 5+ years of experimentation in real life conditions. It is also prepared through collaborative efforts between Center for Ecological Sciences, and the technology used, the tracking technology, is developed by GeoNative France. So it is used as an early warning system, like I said, the power to know where the elephant would be. So the GPS collar sends the information to the end user, which many times is the forest department, and from there it cascades down to the ground staff and the villagers, who then take prompt action to avoid conflict. Now this is one such operation. This is one such operation where 60 elephants are being driven from the forest, from the agricultural area to the forests. So I spoke to you about day-to-day battles with elephants and how tech is helping with that. Now I would like Sanjay to talk about the long-term strategic solutions.
So, Amlan talked about the early warning system. That's not the entire solution. It's a part of the solution. What needs to be done is investment on the ground staff. They call it as an anti-depredation squad. That is what it needs to be invested in further, and that's what we are working with Forest Department to work on it. While we look at that as a day-to-day affair, what does it look like when we are saying a strategic solutioning? So this is the data of collared herd over 14 months, and the collared herd has covered the distance of almost 3,000 kilometers and in the area of 227 kilometers square. In that time, most of the time, the collared herd is by and large into dense forest and tea estate, almost 62%. In that, 32% it's in dense forest, and the rest of the time they are into other land use type. So if we look at the data very closely, this is a simple analysis we have put in because of the paucity of time, and you see very, very close, if you see here, September onwards is what the crop raiding starts. You see the yellow line, okay? That is the time they are bound in crop raiding and abundant tea estate they are taking as a cover. And then you see early December is what they are bound to the dense forest, where there is a very less interference with the other land use type. So what does it indicate? It indicates that where the elephants are, in which month, how is the movement pattern. When they are going crop raiding, there will be multiple entry and exit points. When they are in the forest, there is hardly any interface between human and wildlife, and that is what the barriers can be put in at a strategic location rather than just putting it randomly, because it also requires a lot of investment. So the barriers such as hanging fence, which has been improved over a period of time, can be put. Trenches can be planned so that elephant cannot cross into the village, and the biofence, which has recently been successful in Shivsagar district in Assam. So these are the measures which can be used when it comes to strategic investment. For that, we need more and more data, more and more collared elephant. One elephant collared will not suffice the need. Then in this process, we found that to implement this early warning system and radio collaring operation, the culture plays very major role. It's not a project management. You go, you tranquilize the elephant, you put a collar, and hey, the job is done. Not really. So how does it, we have talked about landscape challenges. Now let's talk about humanly challenges. So we completed our operation, radio collar deployment operation in Rongali Bihu. So Bihu is celebrated in Assam, most of it would know, and it is actually, we are talking about, Rongali Bihu, where we completed the operation and we named the collared elephant after the Rongali. This is a Rongali with herd. Then there is a resistance. There are 8 beats and 8 beat officers. There are different reaction from each beat officer towards the collar. Some would say that my job will increase now because I have to be aware that I will get a prior information about where the herd would be, and my job will increase. Whereas few would be few were very happy, and they were saying first time government is doing something for the ground staff. So how did we address that cultural challenge? We introduced the artifact of collar elephant, and that is what we have used to felicitate the ground staff who have done the excellent job in the operation and in the future. And Assam known for the artisans, so we have joined the hands with the local artisan, so that we have a next project where we want to invest in it so that we can talk more about collar elephant, and also there is a kind of a revenue income opportunity for the local artisans, because they would be selling rhinos and other wild animals, but this would be something unique for them to look forward to. So these are certain social, cultural, and economical aspects. You see in the previous image, it's a Hathi Patthar, which is worshipped by Karbi Anglong and Golaghat people. This is an embodiment of a god Ganesha in the form of artifact. And this is a very heart-wrenching moment where the kids are going and paying their homage to the dead elephant. So we are using a technology to preserve the culture. So these are the images. I'll take it very quickly because the time is up. So these are the images from Indus Valley Civilization, Harappa. We could see this is a granary. So we are talking about, one is a cultivation, which came with civilization. Then come after cultivation, it's a harvesting, and then you have to store the grain. So for that, granary is very important. So Tribib Datta in 1993, he made this drawing. It's called Holy Touch to Bharal. So that's how the culture is so ingrained. We are cultivating, we are harvesting, we are storing, and when we are storing, the elephant is coming and damaging. That's what we find in different parts of India, not just in Assam. That's Arunachal Pradesh, this is Tamil Nadu, this is Karnataka, and this is Golaghat, Patna. So what we are doing, and this is one of the latest image where we can see that concrete, granary is available, but you see the inside structure with a green bamboo. That's the inside structure is again bamboo and mud. Why? Because you have to maintain the grain. It cannot get spoiled. So that's how we are working on. And we have recently joined hands with Indian IIT Guwahati, and we are working on designing and developing a granary which has a material which could sustain in all weather, like a flood and winter and summer. And also it should be highly secure so that elephant would not be able to damage it. And we are working on whether it should be individual or it should be a community specific. So that is what we would sum up.
Yeah. So in a realm of biodiversity, landscape, economy, and human-elephant interface, which is very strong in Assam, we're trying to preserve culture with technology, which is the modern granary, and we are leveraging on culture to present technology. So
thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. And here again, I see another possibility of an association with AME, because it's all about elephant conflict is with food.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We are of the view that they are taking our food, and therefore it's all related to the same thing. So quickly, I'm going to ask you a few questions, if you could just complete that quickly, please. What are the factors other than compensation system that is leading to the decline of paddy cultivation? I mean, these are some of the questions that you wanted us to ask you.
Yes. So, the compensation system itself is inadequate. But in addition to that, there are the agricultural planning. The agricultural areas are planned extremely, they are in close to elephant habitat. So what do you expect? The elephants will come and eat your crops. So agricultural planning is one thing. There's a reason why people are, stopping paddy because of the proximity that the elephant comes to their houses. Now, the large paddy cultivators do not have any issue, but the small scale paddy cultivators, they have the most damage. And these small scale paddy cultivators, their cultivation land is there very close to their house, somewhere in the corner where the elephants can come and damage their houses. And when they are there, the elephants can very easily come close to your house, which will either have banana plant or jackfruit, So it's like that. So the landscape also plays a role, the money plays a role, why, people
I think, see, one of the things that we've been hearing, which you actually made in your presentation, was about elephants getting killed by trains. That seems to be the biggest issue there.
Electrocution.
Electrocution and even trains. I think they're hit by trains.
Yes, in Assam.
Is there any issues being done about that to change that or to retrain, as Nishant was talking about it, about possibly reconditioning elephant tracks in that space?
So, well, there has been...
We have been looking at this train hit to elephants, for many years now, especially in North Bengal. You need a site-specific solution. very often railways will tell you the sound of, bees or whatever, buzzing of the bees will scare the elephants away and all that. They're all mere gimmicks, really. What you need is something very, very practical on the ground. You need to identify the points where the elephants are coming out. They're generally getting hit when they're going out to raid crops, early at night, and then early in the morning when they come back. You need safe crossing points for the elephants. You need technologies that will detect the elephants, especially the large numbers coming close to the railway track, and warn the engine drivers that, slow down now, you need to avoid or whatever, you need to go slow. It's not very easy, by the way. Operationally, the railways will find it very difficult to slow down a train on certain stretches, because they say once you come to a halt in certain stretches, you can't restart the train, the engine will just not go, pull it or whatever. So these are site-specific, there has to be a combination of technology and on the ground.
And possibly you could use the GPS system, as our train system is getting very advanced in terms of being able to locate elephants over a certain radius.
A GPS of a different kind. You need to detect elephants as they come. If they especially come within about, let's say, 500 meters of the railway track, you need sensors, both ground-based vibration sensors. You need thermal sensors that can detect hot bodies like the elephant. That information has to be transmitted through GPS back to the signaling person or the train station master, and out to the engine driver, the loco driver. To slow down. No. In fact, you must have read about the cheetah, what happened to the cheetah recently. Those are very small collars, they are cats. They came from a very dry area and, intense monsoon or whatever. I know of no case where there have been dozens of these collars that have been put in on elephants, and to the best of my knowledge, nothing has happened with any elephant. Elephant is a very, very large creature, so.
Sir, if I may add, so this belt is only 10 to 12 kilograms. So it's like, you are wearing a watch. Does it bother you? It doesn't bother you, right? It's even lighter than the watch itself. So the elephant actually gets habituated after a certain point of time. So it doesn't actually disturb the elephant. The elephant gets used to it. And also after a certain point of time, these collars are designed to come off. So, yeah.
And that's a very good analogy, that it's like a watch to us, I think that's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Because technology is a must. Yeah. See, that's where, again, it's about investing in this kind of things. And for us, it's about providing, this is the ROI.
Yeah.
It's about prevention of killing of more elephants.
Of the elephant, and you need to protect the people. Without protecting people, you can't conserve elephants. Exactly. So that's why we are working on very safe storage of grain. See, what's the point of a farmer toiling for 3 months or 4 months growing all this crop, and they harvest and keep it, and elephant comes and destroys everything.
Yeah.
The entire annual harvest is gone. So we need to invest in elephants and in people. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I think just would like to underline, summing up what Sir said and Amlan said, I think we really need to, since you talked about what is that we need it, so we need that multidisciplinary approach, which, we have implemented. Professor Subkar has conducted this workshop specifically talking about the issue of train elephant collisions. Across India, there are ecologists, technocrats, biologists, human behaviorists, agriculture government organization people, then forest department, railway department, all of them were present, and we had a workshop for 2 days where different things have been discussed, which very nicely is summarized in a few lines. So that is what we need everybody's support, and we need innovation in technology, because by and large what technology we have this with the help of a CES and Animane Trust. This is an India-made collar, which cost, if I get a collar from South Africa, it would cost me 100 rupees. This would be available in 50 rupees. If I get it from Germany, it would be 200 rupees. So where would such kind of money would come? That is what we need.
And actually you hit the nail on the head, Professor. It's about protecting man, protecting his hard toil, the farmer and the grain, and in the process the elephant will get protected. So you need technology as the alert system for us to be able to do this in a very holistic manner. Thank you for sharing your wonderful presentation with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
there is a project in Assam that we've heard of, but we don't know how efficient that project is or whether it's happening positively. They are training farmers to harvest their fields while leaving aside a section of the land which they have grown for the elephants to eat. So during harvest time, the elephants come to barrier 1, face a row of cultivated crops that they eat, while the farmers on the other section of the land harvest their crops. Now, is it as easy or idealistic? Is it working as it sounds? Or is there any flaws that you have noticed in this?
Actually, this has been tried where we are working in Golaghat.
Yes.
Yeah. So they actually did put up a patch of paddy. Now the thing is, that's a very good thought, but what happens is, after a certain period of time, let's say one elephant comes, but then, there will be more elephants coming in, and what they're eating is paddy. Now, if they want paddy, where else will they go look for more paddy? Again, they'll come back to the agricultural areas. So why to grow paddy? Why not to grow, native food plants? And yeah, you want to
just to add in, I think everybody is trying to try something. I would put it as a trial and error initiative by Hathi Bandhu. And we recently come across to a forest official, and he shared that, they may have also, learned out of these experiences. We all, in technology and otherwise. And now they're focusing they're diverting their focus from paddy, and they're getting into local native plants and also medicinal plants. So it again goes back to the people, it goes to elephant. And then what is critical is selection of such patches, because Dr. Nishant very beautifully, shown that how they are habituated and how they go on, even there's no fence, the leg still goes up. Then what will happen if they are frequented, they're looking for something, So this has to be dealt in a multi-stakeholder approach, and the decision could be made, while on the side, the trial and error can definitely go on, so that everybody learn in the process.
So as as everybody's been talking, it's about research now. The investment is primarily in research also, to understand what one should do, and what is going to work, because the conflict has actually escalated, especially over the past decade. The escalation of the conflict because of development has happened over the past decade. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.